Alright, fuckers, so I'm gonna upload this quick video before I head to work. So, Beavis and Butthead is actually making a comeback. Yeah, that's right. Not on MTV, but rather Comedy Central, which is probably the best news I've heard all year, cause 2020 fucking sucks. But yeah, I'm excited about this, because for those who are either too young to know about the show, or have never heard about it, which I don't know how you wouldn't, because everybody knows the show. It's essentially a show about two idiots that lack social skills and react to a bunch of music videos, mostly ranging from rock and metal. It was created by Mike Judge and aired on MTV back in like 93, but was canceled from what I can remember around 97. It was brought back very briefly in 2011, but unfortunately was short-lived. Now, this was one of the best cartoons for me as a kid in the 90s. I specifically remember watching this show with friends on MTV's Liquid Television, which I'm sure barely any of you know of, but that was a pretty cool little showcase of edgier, I don't want to say cartoons, but animated shows. Edgier animated shows that had cool shit like Eon Flux, Ren and Stimpy, The Oddities, or The Max, whatever you want to call it, and all that cool shit. And it's way better than all that SpongeBob type comedy that you guys are used to. That goofy slapstick toilet humor made for only kids to laugh at, but I also heard that Daria would be getting a spin-off, but I didn't really watch too much of the show when it aired back then, like around 97, which was pretty much around the time Beavis and Butthead was canceled. And I did remember Daria being in Beavis and Butthead at first, but whatever, we'll see how that is. Now, I'm sure nowadays a bunch of faggots and pussies out there might find a show like Beavis and Butthead sexist, gross, cruel, mean-scripted, and offensively stupid, but that's what made it work. There's like so many different types of animated shows that has similar types of adult humor, but the reason it works here is because it's a very interesting satire on MTV's Generation X 90s in its culture for blaming the media for dumbing down society. It's a comedy that was never ever supposed to be taken seriously. I mean, it has its animation flaws like the earlier seasons of 1 and 2, which are kind of a mixed bag with some okay episodes, but with crude animation. But from season 3 and onward, it gets better with the writing and animation. And, as for the 2011 remake, that was pretty good as well. Now, I will admit, I was a bit skeptical because even with the creator Mike Judge returning, I was kind of worried about this since MTV at that time and even now is so far from what it was during its heyday, and that was back during the 80s and 90s. I was worried that it would ruin what was considered a classic series, but then I was completely surprised at how good the revival was. It was pretty much a rare occasion where a revival of Season 8 was as good as the original series, with the classic style of Beavis and Butthead episodes and high-quality animation. And it was the only good program on MTV back in 2011. Fact. But too bad it only lasted a few months. My only nitpick with the revival was adding in reality shows with music video segments, which felt out of place for bottom-of-the-barrel crap like Jersey Shore and 16 and Pregnant. But at least those crappy shows were mocked by the duo. The only thing I am fearful of is with the way the world is nowadays. Again, the pussies, the snowflakes, the faggots out there getting their period every single time. Like Mike Judge and the creators wouldn't be doing this justice without offending any of them. And I hope I'm wrong, because Beavis and Butthead pissed off a lot of people back in the day in their original versions, but now they will probably be offending all of their peers around them. And I'm talking about in the actual show itself, not in real life. Them like openly trying to score with the hot babes and Beavis doing his boner noise when he feels horny after the Me Too movement will be interesting. But I am kinda curious if there will be an episode where one or both of them is accused of sexual harassment. Like, for example, hey baby, come to Butthead. Boo, boo, boo! Help! They're raping me with their eyes! Call the police! Yeah, that would be money right there. And not to mention, the show was also known for the two reacting to music videos ranging from rock and metal. And this was the start of what got me into the genre. Like, I found out about so many different types of grunge, rock, alternative, and metal bands ranging from Nirvana, White Zombie, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pantera, Entomb, Korn, and I can go on. You know, like, that was just a gimmick for MTV, which made sense at that time. And also padding the episode because of their short 5-minute length. It's not really a bad idea and a great way to introduce some bands that you've never heard of before or were looking for. I can only hope they cover some of these music videos from doom metal, stoner rock, heavy psych, noise rock, hardcore, etc. Because I would hope for this to get a lot of Gen Zers into rock and metal music. Mike Judge is one of those creators where every single project he's done has been nothing but golden. Well, for the most part anyways, because I'm not a fan of King of the Hill. Because that's one of the most boring shows I've ever seen. But I do have faith in this. They just need to let him go wild and let him do what he does best. And I've also heard that New York Times said that Comedy Central said in the news release that its latest Beavis and Butthead series will find characters entering a whole new Gen Z world and dealing with the meta themes relatable to both new and old fans, which is both Gen X parents and their Gen Z kids. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, but we'll see. So that's pretty much it, fuckers. If you were a fan of the show, let me know down below. Are you excited about this or not? Comment down below. Later.